Hello there everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to talk about something very cool and something very funny actually. Today I'm going to talk about the brand new teaser for Spaceballs 2. Yes, so if you don't know what Spaceballs is, so the original film from 1987, so Spaceballs is a 1987 American space opera parody film co-written and produced and directed by Mel Brooks. It primarily parodies the original Star Wars trilogy, but also other popular franchises such as Star Trek, Alien, The Wizard of Oz, Tourist That Won a Space Odyssey, Planet of the Apes, and Transformers. The film stars Bill Pullman, John Candy, and Rick Moranis with the supporting cast including Daphne Zuniga, I believe, Dick Van Patten, George Weiner, Lorraine Yarnell, I think so, and the voice of Joan Rivers. In addition to Brooks playing a dual role, the film features Brooks regulars Dom DeLuise and Ruby Delaca. Oh wait, I think Rudy Delaca in cameo appearances. Yeah, okay. And Spaceballs, heroic mercenary Lone Star, played by Pullman, and his alien sidekick Barf rescue Princess Vespa Zuniga, or played by Zuniga, of Droidia, and her droid Dot Matrix, voiced by Rivers, from being captured by the Spaceballs, led by President Scroob, played by Mel Brooks, who wants to use Vespa as ransom to obtain Trudeia's heir for their own planet. However, the heroes get stranded on a desert moon where they encounter the wise Yogurt, also played by Mel Brooks, who teaches Star about a metaphysical power known as the Sword.
The Schwartz.
Meanwhile, Spaceball commanders Dark Helmet, played by Moranis, and Colonel Sanders, played by Weiner, led to search for them, but are hindered by their own incompetence. The film was released by Metro Goldwyn Mayer, or I guess MGM, on the 24th of June 1987. A sequel is in the early stages of development as of June 2025, directed by Joss Greenbaugh and co-written by Joss Gad and Brooks. Its sequel will star Lewis Pullman, Kiki Palmer, and Gad, with Brooks, Bill Pullman, Moranis, and Zuniga reprising their roles. The sequel has an anticipated theatrical release by Amazon MGM Studios in 2027. So the thing is about Spaceballs, as you probably already heard about my little giggle there when I was reading this little, I guess, description. I couldn't stop giggling because like all of these names like Barf is half human, half dog, which makes him his own best friend. Like there are just stupid jokes thrown in there. Maybe in this video, well, yes, probably in this video I'm going to place some jokes from that film. So I'm going to insert some jokes from that film in this video, that you get the clearer idea that this Spaceballs, Spaceballs is pretty much a parody, and it doesn't take itself too serious, which is so incredible.
Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Like obviously Princess Vespa, like nobody is called Vespa, like Vespa as like the name of like a motorcycle, right? Or like one of those Vespas, right? So that you can see mostly in Italy and like France. Like Vespas are like a thing, So I find that really funny. And Dot Matrix, obviously, like a parody on C3PO. And Spaceballs, like it doesn't make any sense. Like President Scroob, played by Mel Brooks, and who wants to use Vespa as a ransom to obtain Druidia's heir for their own planet. Yeah, it's a stupid, like the plot isn't really that important. It's like the jokes and the overall cultural impact of this film, because this film is all set in the galaxy very, 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 very far away. The ruthless Spaceballs, led by President Scroob, have squandered their planet's atmosphere. Desperate for oxygen, Scroob hatches a plan to steal it from the neighboring planet Druidia by obtaining the code to its air shield, destroying Druidia in the process. Obviously parodying Alderaan from the Star Wars films. On Druidia, the spoiled Princess Vespa flees an arranged marriage to the narcoleptic Prince Valium, having already rejected all other suitors in her search for true love. Meanwhile, mercenary Lone Star and his Mog, half-man, half-dog companion Barf are contacted by crime boss Pizza Hut. Oh boy, this film is so dumb, but it's perfect, man. Who demands a payment of a 1 million space buck debt? King Roland of Druidia offers Star the same amount to rescue Vespa and her droid servant Dot Matrix. So, aboard their Winnebago spaceship, Eagle 5, Star and Barf rescue the pair just before they are captured by the Spaceball ship Spaceball 1, commanded by Colonel Sanders and Scroops enforcer Dark Helmet, who wields the mystical power of the Schwartz. However, Eagle 5 runs out of fuel, forcing Star to crash land on the desert moon of Vega, where they obviously meet Yogurt, played by Mel Brooks.
To comb the desert, you hear me? Comb the desert!
And the funny thing is, like, I don't think it had a great, like, box office amount. Like, yeah, it was released, let's see here. Oh, yeah, budget was 25 million and the box office, okay, well, 30 million. Yeah, okay, yeah, never mind. But over the years, this film from 1987 has become, like, one of those best, parody films ever made. Obviously, Mel Brooks, who made this film, is a very well-known comedic actor. So Melvin James Brooks is an American actor, comedian, filmmaker, and songwriter with a career spanning over 7 decades. He is known as a writer and director of a variety of successful broad farces and parodies. A recipient of numerous accolades. He's one of 21 entertainers to win the EGOT, which is an acronym for the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Awards. Oh, wow, yeah, okay, that's interesting. Which includes an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Like I said, he received a Kennedy Center Honor in 2009, a Hollywood Walk of Fame star in 2010, a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2013, a British Film Institute Fellowship in 2015, a National Medal of Arts in 2016, a BAFTA Fellowship in 2017, and the Honorary Academy Award in 2024. Oh, holy shit. That's insane. Brooks began his career as a comic and a writer for Sid Caesar's variety show, Your Show of Shows. There he worked with Neil Simon, Woody Allen, Larry Gilbert, and Carl Reiner. With Reiner, he co-created the comedy sketch The 2,000-Year-Old Man and released several comedy albums, starting with A 2,000-Year-Old Man. In 1960, Brooks received 5 nominations for the Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album, finally winning in 1999. With Buck Henry, he created the hit satirical spy NBC television comedy series Get Smart. So he gets a lot of credit, which is really interesting, but I want to talk about his filmography a bit. Let's see here, I just need to skip a few little sections here on Wikipedia. Let's see here, bibliography references, no personal life. Can't I see his filmography is somewhere? Or well, not really. Okay, I'll look it up for the for the people interested. So I guess Mel Brooks, I've got a few of his films here in my collection at home, but let's see here, that you get a brighter look at his filmography. Yes, so he made the film Young Frankenstein, obviously a very good comedy film. We have Spaceballs, obviously a satirical comedy too. He made Robin Hood, Man in Tights, which is also one of those very funny films made by Mel Brooks. He also made To Be or Not to Be. I believe that's also a comedy film. And yeah, I guess he is one of those masters from comedy, right? He worked alongside, I believe it is Gene Wilder, for Young Frankenstein. Obviously, he befriended Woody Allen, which is really interesting. And I believe Mel Brooks also produced The Elephant Man, but I'm not quite sure. I should actually Google that really fast because, as a matter of fact, he's a very brilliant man. And I think he is one of the greatest American comedy persons ever made. So I don't really see it necessarily. Yeah, Brief History of Mel Brooks, David Lynch, and The Elephant Man. Yes, so there we go. Yeah, very interesting, man. Very, very nice. So now that I talked about the original Spaceballs and also a bit of the background information about its creator, Mel Brooks, let's talk about the Deadline article that obviously Spaceballs 2 is happening. Bill Pullman and Rick Moranis returning for new Spaceballs. Kiki Palmer, Lewis Pullman also set to or also set the dish or also set, I guess, I don't know. Exclusive updated with new non-exclusive details. Bill Pullman and Rick Moranis are set to reprise their respectful roles as Lone Star and Dark Helmet in the new Spaceballs movie from Amazon MGM Studios, with Kiki Palmer obviously joining the cast. Sources tell Deadline, which is very interesting. So Amazon declined to comment, and character details for Palmer are on the wraps, as is the sequel's plot. Also newly aboard in an undisclosed role as Pullman's son, rising star Lewis Pullman from the Thunderbolts, as THR was first to report this afternoon. So there we go. Obviously, a father and a son playing in the same film. Obviously, they're connected in a way, but I'll tell you more about that or my theories about that in just a sec. The addition of Moranis, though, is particularly striking, as the actor hasn't been seen much on screen for decades. As announced this morning, the original film's director and star Mel Brooks will also feature in the cast once again, reprising his role as Yogurt. Slated for release in theaters in 2027, the film has been described by those who have not read the script as, by those who have not yet read the script as a non-prequel, non-reboot sequel, part 2, but with a reboot elements franchise expansion film. Holy shit. Oh my days, this is going to be such a good film. I can already feel it, man. But there we go. So Josh Greenbaum, will direct from a script by Benji Sammet, Dan Hernandez, and Josh Gad, which obviously Josh Gad you might probably know from obviously his many roles. I believe he played in Pixels, but obviously he voiced Olaf in Frozen, which is really interesting. So there we go. As announced in June of last year, obviously these writers were introduced like last year, so there we go. That's nice. Anyway, Gad is also expected to star and will produce alongside Imagine Entertainment's Brian Grazer, Ron Howard, and Jeb Brody, Brooks and Greenbaum, with Kevin Salter, Adam Merrims, Sammet, and Hernandez executive producing the film. There we go. So yes, it's very interesting because the actor for Dark Helmet will reprise his role once again, because he was in retirement since the 90s and now he's back, which is really interesting. I mean, he's best known for like Ghostbusters or like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and I believe Little Shop of Horrors, which is really nice. I just love to see, actors return as their old characters. Obviously, the last couple of years, studios have been trying to do that with obviously like big franchises like Ghostbusters, bringing back the old Ghostbusters and bringing back like old Star Wars characters and stuff like that. But sometimes, it's too much, And I think Spaceballs 2 will actually talk about that issue, because there was this teaser released a while ago, or just a few days ago by the time you're watching this. But obviously, by the time I'm uploading this video, it might already been out for like a couple of weeks or days or whatever. Anyway, so the Spaceballs 2 official announcement teaser 2027, Mel Brooks. Let's play it here on screen. 38 years ago, there was only one Star Wars trilogy. But since then, there have been a prequel trilogy, a sequel trilogy, a sequel to the prequel, a prequel to the sequel, countless TV spin-offs, a movie spin-off of the TV spin-off, which is both a prequel and a sequel. Not to mention 2 Dunes, I guess 3, 7 Jurassic Parks, 2 Avatars, plus 3 upcoming Avatars, making 5 Avatars. 36 MCU movies with 2 different Robert Downey Jr.'s. DC attempt number 1, DC attempt number 2, an animated Lion King, a live-action animated Lion King, a live-action animated Lion King prequel, 8 Harry Potter movies, a TV series remaking the same 8 Harry Potter movies, a whole streaming service of Star Trek, 7 Alien movies, 2 of which were also Predator movies, not to be mistaken for the 6 Predator movies that are not also Alien movies, 1 Prometheus, which is kind of an Alien movie, 4 Beetle movies, and Oppenheimer. But in 38 years, there has only ever been one Dun dun dun. Spaceballs. Yes. Wait for it. So that's very interesting. Yes, you also have this little message from Mel Brooks, obviously until now. So I'll obviously play that too.
After 40 years, we asked, what do the fans want? But instead, we're making this movie.
So that's very nice. It's good to see, obviously, Mel Brooks as a 98-year-old man just being excited for this. Otherwise, best known for turns and iconic works like, obviously, Independence Day and David Lynch's Lost Highway. Pillman has most recently been seen starring in series like The Sinner, as well as films including The High Note and Dark Waters. Upcoming, he has the Duffer Brothers Netflix series, The Burrows, an A24 famous opposite Zac Efron and more, an icon of the 80s and the 90s. Moranis rose to fame with roles in Ghostbusters, Little Shop of Horrors, The Honey, I Shrunk the Kids films, and more after writing and starring in famed Canadian sketch series SCTV. Famously, he for the most part stepped away from acting in late 90s, focusing on raising his children following the passing of his wife. Costume designer Anne Balsky. Most recently, he teamed with Ryan Reynolds on a 2020 ad for Mint Mobile. Obviously, Palmer is coming off Succession with One of Them Days, a tri-star buddy comedy where he stars opposite SZA, Zia, I believe, which recently got a sequel set up for development. Next up, she'll be seen in The Pickup, Amazon's heist comedy, out August 6th, opposite Eddie Murphy, and that's really interesting. So all these actors actually have something to do here, which is really nice. And most importantly, I think like the two newest cast members, obviously Lewis Pullman, the son of Bill Pullman, and Kiki Palmer, they might be the main characters of this film. Obviously leading into the sequel hype that most of the studios have. Obviously, like we have Dark Helmet, we have obviously Lone Star, and now probably we'll be following their kids. And maybe this will be a parody on like the sequel trilogy of Star Wars, obviously with Finn and Rey, and maybe Lewis Pullman will be like a Rey-like character, like obviously the son of like the most famous hero of the Spaceballs universe. Maybe he'll turn bad, I don't know. And Kiki Palmer will be like the Finn of the Spaceballs sequel. Like hopefully she's going to be very cool. Like Kiki Palmer, she's very very good as a comedic actress. I really loved her in what was it? Nope. And I think she'll absolutely nail it. So alright, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will check you later. Goodbye everyone, or should I say, may the Schwartz be with you.
You have the ring, and I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.